What's happening, party people? So I wanna keep this theme going because I've decided that each day of filming I'm going to do a video. And so last night I shared a story I've never shared before publicly, and hopefully you got some good value from that. It's called "I've Never Told This to Anyone Before." So the continuation of it is. What was it that prompted me to want to go to Yale Drama School? Well, there were a couple of things. One, I'm a natural contrarian. I know some of you can relate to this, where you don't want to follow the crowd. And I remember someone saying, if you want to be successful, look at what everybody else is doing and make sure you do the exact opposite. And oftentimes that is true. And so I remember vividly going to someone that I looked up to in the theater world. And as I'm getting my feet underneath me, I said, I am probably going to apply for the Yale School of Drama. And he said to me, listen, it usually takes people 3, 4, 5 times to get in. I don't know if you really want to go through all of that. I have an in with this other university. I'll put in a good word for you, and I'm pretty confident we can get you some money too. Now, I appreciated what he was doing, but something in my mind just said, don't talk to him anymore about that. Like, he's a good guy, but don't ever talk to him anymore about what your plans are. And I listened to my gut, like I followed my instinct, because he was trying to talk me out of it, because he's going with what is conventional, quote unquote, wisdom, whereas most people that apply are not going to get in. Well, okay, that didn't matter to me at all. And I had made up my mind, and that was going to be that. So that's number one. Number two, if everybody is talking about this place and imbuing it with this magical, mystical power, then in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm going to leverage that. So if I go to Yale and I graduate from there, I will have leverage, and I can probably open up some doors for me in the theater world, in the world of acting, that I probably wouldn't be able to open as quickly if I didn't have that behind my name. So it was a very strategic thing, and it was also, I wanted to get trained by the best of the best. And very often when I was taking my surveys, like, hey, give me your top 3, top 4 places to train. And Yale was always number one. No matter who I was talking to, it was always number one. And so that was my driver to go. The other part of it is, I don't like not knowing. Like, I don't like, there's a song in Hamilton, it's called The Room Where It Happens. And Aaron Burr is talking about, like, I want to be in the room where it happens, the room where it happens, because he knows that there are things taking place behind closed doors, and he can't have access to that room, and it drives him crazy throughout Hamilton. And I don't like not knowing. So if there's a place where people are getting access to information that can shorten their learning curve, that can give them a skill set, that can build and cultivate a higher level of relationship, I want to be in that room. And so that was another driver. If you tell me I can't do it or I can't get in, I'm going. Like, that just fires me up even more. So those were all the drivers. So I get there, and I'll never forget, it was orientation and we're walking, and I'm walking with a couple of my classmates. I'm getting to know who they are. There's not that many of us, by the way. So at that point, there were probably, I want to say, I don't know, could have been 2,500, 3,500 people, whatever it was, that were auditioning, and there are 17 spots available. Okay, so you've got a lot of people that want to get one of these 17 slots. And so we're walking, and my classmate, his name was Austin, and he was like, man, can you believe that we're here? And I was like, they can't believe that we're here. And he started laughing, and I was like, I'm not joking. Like, don't miss what you bring to the table. Like, they accepted us for a reason. It's not, I can't believe I'm here. No, like, this is a joint venture. You bring value, they bring value. We can make some, beautiful art together. That was my thinking. And so as I'm going through this journey, there was a couple of defining moments that really stood out to me that I always remember. One was we were walking from class and we were going to get something to eat. And my classmate, Chris, he was like, how do you do it? And I was like, how do I do what? And he's like, how do you be here? It's like, what are you talking about? And Chris is white. He's like, well, it's just so white. And I just started laughing. And he was saying to me, like, Ed, like Yale is so white, like everybody's white and everything is from a white perspective. He's like, how do you navigate this space, bro? And I said to him, I said, Chris, man, listen, I feel like you're missing out. Like I've been exposed to white culture my whole life. Like that's nothing new. Even though I'm coming from one of the most unique, brilliant learning institutions in the world. It's the only all black male college in the country. Even though I'm coming from that, prior to that and since that time, I've had massive amounts of exposure to white culture. I said, I feel like you're missing out because you don't know my culture. You don't know our people. And you're missing out because you're never going to get it here. So we had a really great conversation about that. But it sparked something in me because I really started to pay attention and take notice because, I want to give any environment, any relationship that's new, I want to give it an opportunity to see who am I working with? What are you bringing to the table? Do you have perspective? Do you have culture? Do you have awareness? And I'm looking at all those things and I'm saying, let's see how it plays out. Let's see where your level of awareness is. And I realized very quickly that the level of awareness was really low. So I wanted to take agency and take ownership of my experience. And I said very simply, hey, let's set up a meeting with the dean of the drama school. And we did. And when I say we, I asked one of my classmates to come in there with me. And I said, hey, listen, we really need funding so that we can go and start recruiting at black colleges because you all are not doing that. Because you're missing out. That's where I come from that. Nobody recruited me to audition for Yale. I had to figure it out on my own. I said, if somebody had come to Morehouse, I would have been more aware that Yale was even an option on the radar. I didn't know about training at that time. So I said, a lot of that is just the lack of information, lack of exposure. People don't know what they don't know. So he actually, and to be fair and to give him credit, he said, hey, yeah, we'll give you money, a grant, and you can travel and you can go to these HBCUs and just share and talk about the experience and give people a window into what's available for people that want to have a career in the theater and dramatic arts. And we did that. So that was us taking ownership. It was me taking ownership and inviting some of, I took another classmate with me to do that, to be vested in it, because I don't think people really understand the power that they possess. You just have to be proactive. You have to ask questions. You have to have difficult conversations. You have to be willing to confront the situation that you're in. Because in my mind, I'm spending a lot of money to be here. Like Yale was freaking expensive. So in my mind, I'm like, well, if I'm putting all this money into it, we need to get something out of it. We have no black faculty at all. We have no people of color at all in the faculty. We could do better. And everybody agreed. So that was the beginning of me taking agency of my 3 years of conservatory and being so completely vested in that experience. And so for us, I wanted, and when I say us, again, I'm talking about the students, I wanted to be an example of what happens when you take control, take agency of what you can do. All you can do is all you can do, and all you can do is enough. Just make sure that you do all you can do, as Art Williams would say. And that was another way to maximize my time and my experience when I was at the drama school, because I knew I only had 3 years. And even though it was intense and it was rigorous and it was 9 a.m. in the morning until 2 a.m. the next morning, a lot of times we had very long days, lots of rehearsals, lots of plays, lots of productions. I was working full time in the work study program. So, my schedule was full. Like, I had a lot going on. And all of that, I'm still looking for ways to maximize my life as an artist, to develop my skill set as an artist, and how can I really take advantage of every morsel of learning opportunity, not just at the drama school, but when you go to any Yale graduate school, you actually can have access to some of the other courses. So I could sit in on the law school, I could sit in on the med school, I could sit in on the div school. You could literally just audit certain classes in the different schools for the exposure. And I was able to build relationship. I was chair of the graduate network for Yale my final year at Yale. So I met so many people and built so many great relationships that are to this day. And so for me, it was about maximizing the opportunity, being very intentional with my time, being very, very focused. I wasn't partying. I wasn't going out and, getting drunk. I wasn't in a relationship. I was completely dialed in to my growth as an artist and developing my skill set, because I knew the time was going to go like that. And so I wanted to share that part of my journey with you, because number one, it's never too late for you to pick up something and decide you're going to learn and develop and then eventually master that skill. It's never too late. The year that I graduated the Yale School of Drama, there was a grandmother of five that graduated the medical school. So it's never too late, okay? Secondly, whatever you're going to do, take agency, take ownership of what you're going to do. Be vested in your learning, be vested in your journey, be vested in the growth, be vested in the process, because the more you take care of the work is going to take care of you. And then finally, have fun. Like, if you're going to do it, if you're going to be there, maximize the opportunity, give it everything you got, and leave nothing on the table, and enjoy the journey, enjoy the process, because we're in the process far greater and far longer than we're at the end result. Graduation was one day from the Yale Drama School, but it was a 3-year journey, okay? And since that time, it's been a journey of, a bunch of productions and different plays, off-Broadway, Broadway, films, television shows, commercials, voiceovers, print work. All those things are happening to this day. And I'm literally in the process of shooting a film right now, like I said, here in Chicago. So it can open up doors for you if you give yourself the opportunity to learn. Have a growth mindset, not a fixed mindset. Don't say, oh, this is who I am, or, I'm too old for that, or I'm too young for that. No, you're never too old to learn. You're never too young to teach. And there's always agency that's available to you if you take ownership of your process with a growth mindset, commit to learn new skills, commit to learn a new craft, commit to walk down a different path. And it could be magical where it takes you. You just never know where it's going to take you. It's a choice. You can keep growing or you can stop growing. People that stop growing, they park in life. They're gonna be in the same job for the next 20, 30, 40 years. They're gonna be at the same income level the next 20, 30, 40 years. They're gonna be in the same type of dynamic, doing the same things over and over again for the next 20, 30, 40 years. They're not gonna grow. And that's gonna be their life and their legacy. A few of you are gonna make the decision, I wanna keep growing, I wanna keep stretching, I wanna get and stay in my uncomfortable growth zone. I wanna go to places I haven't been yet. I'm willing to become someone I've never been before. And you behave your way to success. You behave your way to a new version of you. And we can always change the script, right? We're not stuck. We can create a brand new story. We can create a brand new character. We can have a higher level of discipline, a higher level of integrity, a higher level of consistency, a higher level of commitment, keeping our commitment to our commitments, and doing what we say we're going to do, because the more we do what we say, the more what we say comes true. So I invite you, ladies and gentlemen, to take agency of your journey, to continue to get better in whatever path that you're on. And if you wanted to invest in a new path, go for it. Go for it. You only have one ride on this journey. And take advantage of the agency that's afforded to you. If you got hands and legs and a mind that works, then put all of those things to work for you and go make some magic in this world, because we need more of your magic at a time when there's a lot of darkness in the world. We need more of your light, more of your magic. So I want to challenge you to bring that forth, challenge you to put in that work, challenge you to keep growing. If you got some value out of this, please like and subscribe. Share this message with whoever you think can get some points from it. And we'll see you tomorrow night for the next installment. All right, take care.